All right, we are going to get started for Steady in the Storm. This is going to be approximately an hour. I've not done this particular uh, webinar before. And for those of you who've walked with me, this will be a good refresh for you. It'll also give you an opportunity to remember some things that perhaps you've forgotten in the flurry of everything that's going on in your world and in the world at large. But given that, I wanted to come to you today to share with you what I've been doing behind the scenes and what our community is doing behind the scenes, because it's working and it's helping and it's supporting us. And I want to make sure that all of you who are looking for support have the support that you need. And so that being said, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Let's see here. All right. Something's kind of wacky here. Give me a minute. My screen looks totally different than usual. There we go. All right, here we go. There it is. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share this with you. And as I do this, I'm going to ask a favor. Sarah, I'm going to stick you on as co-host just so you can let people in. Panic, just so you can let people in. So that does that work for you? That's it.
What do it? So I have not done this before.
All that's going to happen is it's going to show up on the screen as somebody's in the waiting room, because for some reason my waiting room's not showing up.
Okay.
Welcome to updates in Zoom. And all you have to do is say accept. See that right now? Did you see that?
I
Trudy
don't
has entered the
have
waiting room.
that right
Okay,
now.
forget it. I'm actually still seeing it. So then don't worry about it. It's all good. All right, we got it. We got it all squared away. So no worries. I got it squared away. Okay. So, beloveds, I am going to do this and view our full screen. There it is. All right. Welcome to this workshop that is called Steady in the Storm. It's doable daily rhythms for self-care. And I'm coming to you from Mexico. I live here in Mexico, and I am living in Guanajuato, Mexico. I've been here for 10 years. I have nearly 30 years holding retreats and owning retreat spaces. And most of my work these days is online community in our Lightkeeper Society, doing private retreats, one-on-one and small group retreats, and also doing one-on-one coaching. And I think that it's pertinent to say that I'm 55 years old. I am a breast cancer survivor. I am literally living inside of remission. I'm 2 years out of cancer diagnosis, free of cancer, and very grateful to be able to walk this path with all of you today, because essentially the tools and the techniques and the things that I've been doing on a regular basis are all of the things that have helped me immensely. And I believe that they are the things that are helping our community as well. So what we do in our quiet moments, what we are doing when we're not out there trying to do the things that we think we need to be doing, are really what shape our world and are the things that shape the world at large. And so that being said, we're going to jump right into the content today. I don't need to tell you this, because I'm sure that the women who've arrived here today are very conscious women. We are not living in business as usual times. Health feels more and more fragile. I can say, being a cancer survivor, we're not winning, quote unquote, the war on most diseases. And there's more and more use and abuse of prescription drugs. There's more and more use and abuse of recreational drugs. And health is fragile. Systems might feel to you, as they do to me, very unstable. It almost feels as though time is accelerated in our lives. Things are moving a lot more quickly. Things are happening a lot more quickly. If we look at the things that have happened in our lives and in the world, even since, let's just say, January 1st, it might seem impossible that we have gone through the changes that we've gone through in just these 2 short months. So many women, I find, are asking these questions like, what is mine? Like, what can I do? And does what I do on a day-to-day basis even matter? Does it make an impact? And we are at a turning point on our journey as humans. And we also, as women, are absolutely at a turning point. We're at a really important point, a crossroads, if you will, where we can continue to be observers or we can be participants. I think about all of my family and friends and those who I grew up with in Minnesota, who for many, many years would not have considered themselves to be activists in any way, have come to a realization that they can no longer be quiet. They can no longer sit quietly and sit in their plush, comfy little homes and do nothing. We have impact and we have to make impact. And that's the same in every aspect of our lives. And we're going to get into this. We need to be active participants in our lives and in this world if we are going to impact change. We have 2 choices. We get to be victims of what's happening, right? We can be in that state of powerlessness, or we can essentially step into the role of being creators, where we have agency over our bodies, over our lives, over our health, and over the world at large. Many of us sitting here today, and I'm sure you fall into this in some category, many of us, if not all of us, have walked through divorce, great loss, diagnosis, death, instability, and uncertainty. And we are all still here. We have walked through that fire. And this is not by accident. Everything is according to divine plan, and you are part of that divine plan. So some of the questions that come up are, is it selfish for me to kind of hole up and focus on my own stuff? Yes and no. And I'm going to talk about that. What difference can I actually make? Maybe a little, maybe a lot. And we're going to talk about that. And what could little old me do that's going to matter or make an impact? And the answer is just simply a whole lot. So to circle back, is it selfish to hole up and focus on little old me? Yes and no. If you do that all the time, the answer is yes. If you stay in your comfy little home, in your warm little bed, in your warm little world, and you look away from everything that's happening in the world, yeah, that could be considered selfish. But if you are doing it to nourish yourself, if you are doing it to resource yourself, if you are doing it so that what it is that you want to see in the world is happening in your own little world, being more peaceful, being more grounded, regulated nervous system, feeling connected to something greater than ourselves, then it's not selfish at all. It's resourcing us so that we can be of service in the world. We can be of service in our families, in our communities. We can have more joy. We can be of higher service on the dance floor, for crying out loud, right? We're not talking about just the really big things. We're talking about everything from the center of the onion and outward, because there is so much power when we turn our attention to regulating our nervous systems, staying connected to something bigger than ourselves, doing our part so that our vibration impacts and affects anyone and everyone's out there, whether we're teaching yoga classes, whether we're dancing salsa, whether we're giggling at a family reunion or offering high truth at a family reunion with open heart and compassion. It's anything and everything. So this circles to the second question. What difference can I actually make? A little if you stay in your little hole, or a lot if you're willing to see that absolutely everything that you do in your life and in the world at large is actually originating in the way that you show up for yourself. So paying attention to your own intuition is imperative. Paying attention to the little tiny whisper of what your body needs is imperative, because that's what grounds and regulates your nervous system. That's what prepares you for whatever's coming next. And that's what keeps you connected to a source and a force so much greater than our little selves that is going to hold us through anything and everything. May they be beautiful birthings of new worlds, or whether they may be challenges and struggles and divorce and death and loss and diagnosis and uncertainty and instability. We want to be as well resourced as possible, because that is the only place from which we're going to be able to make a difference. So what could little old me do that matters? A whole lot. And we do it in every little place and space in our lives. And this is what we must remember. There's a space between stimulus and response. And no one taught us that better than Viktor Frankl when he sat in the concentration camps and looked out at friends and family being attacked and being abused and feeling as though they had no control or no agency at all. And he expressed very clearly that we have agency over what's happening. And I'll say it this way, he didn't, in our own skin bag, right? That when we feel connected to ourselves, to our breath, to the ground beneath us, we actually get to choose how we respond rather than immediately go into reaction. And absolutely everything in your life is providing you with a stimuli or with stimulus that you then are able to take, create space for, and respond. And this is what we're talking about. So there are some things that you can do every day, really simple rhythms that help you move from reaction into healthy conscious response, from feeling helpless into participating, being a full participant in your life. It has nothing to do with whether you're in a partnership. It has nothing to do with how much money's in your bank account. It has nothing to do with whether or not you go to start your car and it starts or it doesn't start. All of these things that we're talking about, all of these very simple things, these little tiny reminders, they are simple. They're not always easy because we forget, because the world takes us by storm, because we never know what crazy things going to come in terms of a telephone call, in terms of the news, in terms of, you log into your medical portal. Who knows? Who knows? We don't know. But it means the world to you and to those that you touch when you are as ready as possible, not bracing, but as ready as possible for anything to come your way. And in the yogic tradition, we say, come, 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 go, go, go. Come, 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 go, go, go. Whatever's coming, let it come. I let it pass through me on my breath. I feel what I need to feel. I let go of what's not mine, of what other people want me to do or say or be, or how they think I should be responding. I live fully from inside of this amazing vehicle. And I use what information comes forth to guide my next best step. And that's how I fully participate in this world. So there's a few things that we can do. And I love to say, I want to know what to do when I don't have any idea what to do. Like when I have no idea what to do because I've been knocked to my knees, because I've been knocked down. And I felt that way, I'd say most recently, 2 years ago, when I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And I was like, okay, now what? I have no idea, because for a moment in time, I felt paralyzed. I felt like everything I've ever known apparently doesn't work, which essentially was not true. I just needed time and space to ground and steady. And sometimes that's what we need, time and space to ground and steady, to return into the safety of our homes, close the blinds, sit quietly with a cup of tea, a piece of music, a meditation that moves us, something, anything, so that we can return to the foundation of our being and return to the knowing that the tools that we have been given to us for a reason, and they do in fact work. We just simply need to reintegrate them into the current moment. So today is all about, how do I return to foundation? Number one, move your body. Sounds so simple, and it is so simple, and I get that it's not very easy. And it's kind of the last thing we want to do when we feel both overwhelmed or paralyzed. But it is the key. So what does that look like? The truth is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you turn on a piece of music that makes you want to wiggle and squirm and sing out loud and shake your body, or if you want to do a yoga practice, or if you want to go for a walk in nature, or if you want to jump on a mini trampoline, or if you want to walk on the treadmill. It doesn't matter. Just move your body. And what I want to speak to in regards to that is, even 100 years ago, our ancestors, when they had something going on, they couldn't just pick up their device, right, and just sit with it and then go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. When something was going on, when a storm hit, let's say that was the wagon wheel broke, they had to get out there and fix it, because they had to get to the village to get milk or to buy wheat that they then bring home to grind into flour to make bread, or they'd have to do something. They had to milk the cows. They had to prepare the field. They had to feed the animals. They had to muck the stalls. They had to do all of that. So moving their bodies was built in to the way in which that they were resourcing themselves, so that two things happened. We'll just call it this, the stress hormones that were rising couldn't just sit there and pool in their bodies while they dumb scrolled and numb thumbed, right? And the positive hormones that come from moving our body had to be produced. So it was built in, and it is built into the nature of our being to move our bodies. In today's day and age, we must actively get out there and do that. One of the reasons I love where I live in central Mexico is, if I want avocado, I got to go down the hill. Now, it's not a very long walk, but it's going to be 7 minutes down and 7 minutes back up. And it's many of you've been here, going up that hill, like you have to stop to take some breaths. So we move our body naturally. So you want to look at, how is it that I am actively and consciously and consistently moving my body? Oh, I don't like exercise. It actually doesn't matter. I don't either. It's not a thing that I've ever really loved at all, but it's something that I always love knowing that I have done on the other side. Secondary to that, go into nature. There is so much research that speaks about our cortisol levels and how we want our cortisol levels to spike early in the morning so that we have the energy that we need to do what we need to do, right? So getting out there and getting in the sun helps both ground us. It helps regulate the endocrine system. It helps give us the cortisol spike that we want and that we need. It helps jag our body into vitamin D production. So there's so many things that living in a structure, right, a roofed structure with airtight windows, because we're in a cold climate, and a lot of those houses have Tyvek, which is like plastic over wood that then have wallboard on the inside. We got to get out in nature, regardless of the weather. Our ancestors did it. Our ancestors didn't have a thermostat that was automatically set to 70 degrees. And so getting out there, we got the best clothes, we got the best warm clothes and weather resistant clothes to get out there and to get into nature. We also want to eat close to nature. So simple, not always easy, but eat close to nature. Instead of going through a drive-through, instead of grabbing something fast, let that fast food be a handful of of a handful of almonds and an apple. Let that fast food be washing a red pepper and eating it like an apple, or having hummus and carrots, right? Eat close to nature. So what you're putting in your body looks as close as possible to the way that it was produced on the planet. It hasn't changed form. So then in that way, we stay away from a lot of processed dairy foods. We stay away from a lot of processed grains. And this helps our digestion in our bodies manage the food, extract the nutrients. We also have higher fiber, which we're going to talk about. We're likely going to have higher protein, which we're going to talk about. And so these are some of the things that are so, so important to us. The next two are be conscious with information. So when you're going out into the world, I'm just going to ask if we can. All right. I just want to make sure you're all muted. Let me see here. Hang on one second. I'm hearing. Hang on a second. There we go. Okay. Get back into this. All right. Coming back. All right. Hang on one second. I just was hearing some noise. This is life. We're doing great. This is just how it rolls. Okay. So being conscious with information really comes down to we don't stick our heads in the sand with what's going on in the world, right? And that's with anything. It doesn't matter, right? I'm gonna use a really random example so we get out of the things that are happening in the world for a second. Let's say that it's a random thing, but let's say you're in a relationship and like you're frustrated with the way that this person is interacting with his daughter or another woman or something like that. And you go and you look and you see a text message and you're watching, and that information is coming into your body and it's affecting you in a way that doesn't serve you, right? It's like getting you all snarled up and mucked up on the inside. Maybe it's you're on social media and all of a sudden the logarithm is just like throwing fear-based information in your direction and you're getting all mucked up inside. The key is it's not that we want to put our head in the sand. We want everything that we're doing with this massive amount of information that we are privy to in today's day and age. We want to say, okay, this information's coming at me. If it's making me feel mucky on the inside, mucky and yucky on the inside, then I got to make a decision. What am I going to do with that information? If I'm like, there's nothing I can do, then get out of there. Because if there's truly nothing that you can do, it's not doing you any good in hanging out there. So for me, one of the tools that I like to use is I get in there, I consciously go to the resources that serve me best. And I go to those places for information. And it doesn't matter if it's with cancer or what's happening in the world economy or what's happening in Minnesota or what's happening in my relationship. It doesn't matter, right? I go in and I say, okay, this information can be of service to me. I put a time limit on it and I get out of there. And then I go do something with the things that I can do something with. If I can't do anything with it, it doesn't serve me to just come into my system and jack up my nervous system and then leave me all jacked up, right? So I want to be conscious with the information that I'm bringing in. And this takes some discipline, sisters. There's no question. This takes some discipline. And one of the ways that we do this is to ensure that we stay in community. And we not only stay in community, but we stay in conscious community. We surround ourselves with individuals who can help us live our best lives, who help us take care of ourselves, who celebrate what we're celebrating in terms of how we're moving through the world, and help us by holding up a mirror as we navigate what we're struggling with. They don't let us spin out. They stop us, right? Or if we're spinning out, they hold us for a while and then they stop us. because they know what's best. Why? Because they are reflections of us and they want to live their best life. So these are the key ways in which that I know how to connect to my foundation, stabilizing my nervous system, reconnecting to joy. So again, just as a review, moving your body, dance, listen to music, go for a walk, do something that makes you breathe hard. Exercise shifts our mood, it regulates our nervous system, it creates clarity. I'm just going to say it because I'm kind of known for talking about this. It's going to help you poop, which you want to do that, and you want to keep your digestion clean, because essentially our energetic digestive system is digesting the world all the time. And the only way that's going to function well if our physiology has the capacity for the digestive system to work well as well. When we move our bodies, all of a sudden inspiration steps in, and action, when we otherwise felt powerless, becomes possible. We want to return to nature, right? Get our feet on the earth when we can. Turn our eyes toward the sky, toward possibility, toward the mystery, toward the unknown, because the body remembers where she came from, where she's existing, and where she's going to return to. The body is part of nature herself. And when we remember that through real and true essential oils, through real and true connection to heart and soul of the Mother Earth, everything gets easier for us. And then we want to eat like life matters. We want to eat vegetables, like more than half of your plate every day. Color, 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 right? In the winter, let it be steamed or roasted. In the summertime, it can be more raw. We want to make sure we're getting enough protein in our diet, right? Look those things up. Find out exactly how much protein you need for your weight. We want to make sure we're getting enough fiber. I shoot for 30 grams of fiber a day. That's quite a bit. Make sure you're getting enough hydration so that the electrical system in your body, right, your nerves, your thought impulses, your emotions, your digestion, everything can function as well as possible. We are preparing our bodies, right, for what's happening in the world. And a strong and prepared body, when we eat well, when we're moving our bodies, can weather any storm. And then be conscious with information, limit the news, limit the time you spend on it, choose credible sources according to what you know to be true, and then ask yourself, what will I do with this? And if the answer is, I don't think I can do anything with it, then take note, self. I'm not going down this rabbit hole again. I'm not going to let this happen again because it doesn't help me. And if you can do something with it, then make the decision to do it, right? We vote with our whole life. We don't just vote when we go to the ballots. We are voting with our whole life. We are voting for the world that we want to live in. This is way beyond politics. This is about what kind of world do I want to live in? We vote with our time. We vote with our energy. We vote with our money, and we vote with our votes. Everything shapes the world. It shapes your world first, and it shapes the world. Consistency can be very, very challenging, and it's extra challenging when we do it alone. And this is why we connect to community. This is why community is so important. I remember in the Lightkeeper Society, the community that I offer up, and I'm going to speak about that today because that's one of the reasons that I'm here today. You're going to get lots of things to take home with you, regardless of whether or not you ever move toward our community. That's not the point. I'd love to have you with us, but I'm not here only to offer that. I want to offer you something that's tangible and useful for you in your life, whether you choose to walk with us or not. What I remember is that during COVID, women gathered with me from living rooms across the globe. We held each other and we stayed steady. We moved our bodies together and we did not feel alone. When I look back on COVID, I didn't feel isolated, and I was here. And I was with women online. And Now there's a combination of being with women online and women in person, and that's beautiful. The key is we want to have both. We want to have both. Participation in your life really starts small. We're not talking about huge things. We're talking about, I'm going to go for one walk. In many places in the globe, the weather's starting to get a little nicer. In other places, not so much. However, one walk on the treadmill, one song bouncing on a mini trampoline, right? One better meal, right? One big head of broccoli, right? All of these things, right? One action repeated, one connection with someone who helps you feel inspired again, one little decision. So we're not talking about huge changes. We're talking about the little things. The key is you recognize inside of your being, okay, I'm going off the rails here, right? I notice that in my own body. I'm going off the rails here. I wake up in the morning, I just don't feel good. I wake up in the morning, I'm scared. I wake up in the morning, I feel depressed. I wake up in the morning, anxiety kind of has me around the throat. That's when I go, okay, get in there, take a walk, make sure that I get on my treadmill. I had a big day today. I'm just going to give you one example. Today's a big day, a big work day for me. I didn't sleep great last night. I woke up really early, so I was like, I don't want to be tired. So what I did when I woke up was immediately I prepared for my day. I said, okay, my first meeting is at 9:00. So therefore I've got, 3+ hours because I was up before 5, 4+ hours, right? 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. To get myself ready for this day. So I made matcha because that helps me with digestion. It also helps prevent cancer recurrence. It's loaded with antioxidants. And so what did I put in that? I put almond milk that had protein in it, isolated whey protein, and I also put inulin, prebiotics. So all of a sudden, prebiotic fiber. So that's what I had. Then I made a pitcher, it's right here. You can see I'm doing pretty good, of chia water with lime. All this is 2 tablespoons of chia, right, with lime. That's it. So I'm going to make sure I get that drunk down, right, probably by 1:00, so that I stay really well hydrated as my energy's kicking out, as my body's kicking out energy. I also ground flax meal so that I have my flax, and I put flax in my smoothie. I went for a walk early in the morning. I talked to a friend and laughed. I got a few little things done. So I was out in nature. I moved my body. I got healthy food into my body. My smoothie was super simple. It was walnuts, my flax meal, more protein, isolated whey protein, about 3/4 cup of blueberries, and water. I think that's it. So that's my day. That's how I've started it. But all of those things are just tiny little things. And when the pressure comes heavier, I'm not reaching for a donut. I'm not reaching for 2 cups of coffee. I'm staying grounded in what I know that's going to support me and what's going to be useful to me, right? Some of the other little things that I do is I open my door early in the morning. It's kind of chilly here. It's not like where many of you are. In the mornings, right now it's in the 40s, but I open the door in the morning. I want fresh air moving through the house, even though it's cold. I want fresh air moving through the house. I want that to touch my skin. I want it to enter my lungs, right? I'm not sticking a Scentsy in the wall. There's no artificial scents. I'm not lighting artificially scented candles or artificially scented incense. I'm coming to what's natural and real and supportive in my body. If I come to an essential oil, maybe I do a little bit of peppermint and sweet orange, right, as a way to wake me up and invigorate my body, right? When I took a shower, I oiled my body. While I was in the shower, I oiled my body. So these are all the tiny little things that you can do. So I'm going to ask you, what have you done today? What are some of the things that you did today that are outside some of the examples that I offer that you've done to prepare yourself for this day? Right? Anybody? Just unmute yourself. What have you done? Just unmute yourself. Go for it, Joanne.
So for me, I practice Kundalini yoga. Britt, you're aware of that. So
Mm,
in the morning, I do my meditation at first thing in the morning. A lot of things are heavy in Illinois as they are in Minnesota, so having my distraction there, but also taking your advice about handle what I can change and the things that I can't step aside from it so that I can stay away from all that and allow me to not be into a panic, right? So
mhm,
always regulating my nervous system, hand on my heart, hand on my belly, knowing that I am
mhm.
safe. Also practicing healthy food, right? So I had oatmeal with chia seeds, blackberries, hemp, and bananas. And then I work from home 2 days out of the week, so I'm very blessed to do that. So today I saw your free webinar. So of course I'm like, how do I handle myself and take care of myself? I'm like, I want to see what Britt has to offer, and listen to her, and then get that level of balance. And then I go to class today for Kundalini because I'm in teacher training. So that is my fortifying, and I journal as well, just to work on emotions that I'm trying to regulate in my nervous system. It's like putting that
Right,
practice for me.
right. And all while working full time,
Yes.
all while knowing that every time you go out into the streets, you never know what's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And yeah, so you're doing it. You're doing it. That's perfect. So for some of you who are here today, you're going to feel validated and go, I'm doing the best I can, and I guess it's pretty good. And for others of us, we're going to be like, oh, I guess I could do a little bit better. Or some of us are going to go, wow, I'm just like bombing this. I gotta get back on the rails. And all of those are perfect. The key is being conscious about it, right? Being conscious about it. And I love what you said, Joanne, hand on the heart and hand on the belly. Such a powerful practice. Such a powerful practice. Simple, so simple. Yeah. Anybody else? Anything that you've done today to prepare yourself? What have you put in your body? What have you done with your voice, your hands, your energy? Anybody else? Just unmute yourself. We'd love to hear. One more share.
I'll speak.
Okay.
So like you, I didn't sleep well and had some rather disturbing dreams. Um, so when I got up this morning, as I'm making my healthy smoothie with all my goodies in it and my
Mm-hmm.
coffee, I thought I'm going to sit down and just journal and just record it, just get it out and kind of look at things from a different perspective. And I
Mm-hmm.
knew I had this workshop coming up too. So it changed the negative, just flipped it a few degrees so that, I could stand back and start again. So.
Yes. Yeah. Perfect. Thank you, Lynn. And it makes me think, and this is kind of how I roll. If you have Spotify, Marianne Williamson has a meditation that is so simple. Let me see if I can find. And I was actually looking for this meditation at one point um, when I came across a new book she has out, by the way, that is called Midlife Awakening. Really great book really great book during these times. And Sarah, when I was walking a couple of days ago, I kept going, I hope you're listening to this. I hope you're listening to this because I was thinking about you. But she has, like, if I go into this playlist, I think it is in here. Hang on. Marion Williamson. It's called Prayer for Courage.
Oh.
Right. It's really, really wonderful. It's super simple. You can screenshot this if it helps.
Okay, well, I have Spotify. I
Yeah,
can look
that's
for
it.
it.
It's
So
super
by the time
beautiful.
I figure
Prayer for
out how to do a
Courage.
screenshot.
Okay, Prayer for Courage by Marianne Williamson. It's really
Okay.
wonderful. It's super simple, but it's just like, whew, when you feel scared, when you feel anxious, she just like brings you right back. Sarah Blondin's another really great one for that as well. Yeah. So thank you for your share.
Yeah, so
Go
Marianne
ahead.
Williamson is just out there on YouTube with that meditation also. And
She is?
yes. And so for those of us
Awesome.
that don't have Spotify, if you use your whatever search engine you use, you put in Marianne Williamson Prayer for Courage, and you will find her.
Perfect. Thank you, Sandy. That's awesome. Perfect. Yay. Hence the power of community right there, right? So Malcolm X said, the future belongs to those who prepare for it today. And I couldn't agree more. I will tell the truth. Last Sunday, we were in Temazcal. And a lot's been happening here in Mexico, if you haven't noticed recently. Lots been going down. I will say a very small portion of what's available on the internet is actually true. Amazing what I have seen. There's an article in the New York Times about all the AI generated content of what was happening in the Guadalajara airport and people running for their lives. Baloney, like just tons of stuff, just not true. Planes on fire, not true. All AI generated. So super interesting. However, I will say this. We were getting ready for Sweat Lodge and they locked down the city while we were in Lodge, meaning they just said, hey, everybody, why don't you just stay home? Which didn't mean you were going to get in a whole bunch of trouble because we had 15, 17 people here for Lodge. And when we got out, I had a whole bunch of messages from the people who were already on lockdown, who were part of our community. So we have a community of about 80 people for Sweat Lodge. And they were like, are you okay? And what do you do? And are people there? And they shouldn't leave. And so luckily, and blessed be, Spirit had, there were 3 attorneys who were in our Sweat Lodge that day. And 2 of them worked for the city. And so they're like, wait, let's check our community threads. Let's check our community WhatsApp groups and find out what's really going on. So they told us, okay, yes, we're on lockdown. And yes, there's been a whole bunch of fires that have happened in convenience stores and Costco parking lot. And Costco's not near me. It's about an hour and a half. But I had one of the women in the Sweat Lodge who I'm really close to. She sent me a message and she said, how are you doing? And my whole body went, I'm great. I was made for this. That's how my body responded. So I tell you that to say the future belongs to those who prepare for it today. Prepare your nervous system. Go to YouTube and look up myelin sheath. Look for practices, right? For myelin sheathing. It's essentially taking your nerve endings and instead of having all of these open electrical conduits and spraying water on them, you're putting oil on them so that when big things happen, our bodies go, I got this. I got this. Not, oh my God, what am I going to do? And I'm going to die alone and I'm probably going to die tomorrow and I'm for sure not going to have any money. So I'm not going to be able to eat and I'm going to lose the roof over my head. Like the world feels like it's on fire in so many ways, but you don't have to be on fire. That's the key, right? And so the future belongs to those who prepare for it today. So this is where I'm going to talk about Light Keepers. Light Keepers is our online community. It's a group of women. We've been walking together since COVID, or since the year after COVID began. And it is exactly that. We like to say that we are a group of women who hold the light and we hold ourselves up best we can. And we also hold each other while we hold ourselves up. So that means we might come together and there's really big things happening in our lives, in our personal lives. Sarah knows, right? In our personal lives, Kathy knows. In the world at large, and we're like, I don't know what to do with this. And we all come around and we say, well, perhaps we could do this or this or this. So those who have the least fear lead. Those who feel the most hope lead. Those who feel the most inspired and who are connecting to the reality that we are made for these times lead. That's the work that we do in Lightkeeper Society. We show up as we are. Sometimes we are laughing. Sometimes we are crying. Sometimes we are laughing and crying at the same time. Sometimes we are full of questions. Other times we have huge breakthroughs and aspects of our lives that we are celebrating. Sometimes we are confessing things about maybe where we didn't show up so well. Sometimes we're offering solutions, and sometimes we are just witnessing each other and holding each other. But we all show up as we are. I like to say that we all arrive when we come together, sometimes multiple times a week. We all arrive with different amounts of light, and we all leave with more light. When light and darkness both enter the room, light always wins. And so we connect to the light. We carry the light back into our communities and into our homes and into our relationships. And we shine that light for those who feel that they are burdened only by darkness. Desmond Tutu says that hope is being able to see that there is light despite all of the darkness that surrounds us. For me, I have come to find that when I live close to the light, I feel clear. When I live close to the light, I'm courageous. I'm more compassionate. I'm more present. I'm living closer to the truth. And I also know that it is something that I have to practice, because so much of what's happening in the world isn't turning our attention toward the light. That's not the nature of modern media. It's not the nature of a consumeristic culture. And so our job is to remember that the light that we seek comes from deep within us. And our job is to keep clearing away everything that's not that. We honor it. We recognize that this life, just like there's daytime and nighttime, just like there's ha and there's ta in yoga, sun and moon, just like there's sky and deep earth, there is light and dark in this world. In order for us to move with clarity, courage, compassion, presence, and truth, we must practice living close to the light. And whatever you're doing in your world, in your little world right now, this season of the world and this season for the women who are here today of our lives is calling us forward, is calling forth the wisdom keepers inside of each of us, is calling us to steady our nervous systems, is calling us to have a stronger and clearer presence, and is calling us to be leaders through not only what we do, but through how we are being and how we carry our human beingness through the days of our lives, right? So we care for the body in these simple ways. We make sure we're getting enough protein. We make sure we're getting enough fiber. We do what we can to balance our hormones, right? That means limiting alcohol. That means being aware of the foods that help balance our hormones and the sugar and the processed foods that can really take our hormones off on a joyride through on a four-wheeler through the mountains, right? We keep our bodies moving. We practice rest, right? All of these things. And we feel and connect to joy. We prepare ourselves to stay on this planet and to do what we can with what we've been given to live in the light. Take care of yourself and take care of your body, because it's the only place you will ever live, right? And we can't be clear emotionally if our body isn't clear. We can't be clear mentally if our bodies are not clear. We cannot have regulated nervous systems if our bodies are not clear. So I like to think of it this way. When my body is gone, like when the Britt body leaves the planet, may what I did here while I was here in this body make a difference. So whether you choose, right, whether you choose to walk in community with us in Light Keepers, which is an option for you, or whether you choose to do your work elsewhere, my deep and strong beckoning to you is to do it somewhere because we need you. The meaning of life is essentially to find your gifts, and the purpose of life is to share those gifts. We regulate faster in connection. We learn faster and more deeply when we are witnessed. And the research in sociology tells us, without getting into the exact study, but there's many, many studies that tell us that setting intentions in community, where we set our intentions and we are witnessed in community, makes us upwards of 70% more likely to succeed with the intentions that we've set. We heal when we walk in community. So my offering and what I do is to hold the space and to hold the community, to hold the circle of Lightkeeper Society. It's a stable, safe, joyful container. We have weekly rhythms. We have shared practices that we do together. We support each other's health journeys. And we every single week, more than once, and it's live and recorded, we have conversations, and we are in conversations that truly and deeply matter. So Monday mornings, we have, it's called our First Light, where we share an inspiration for the week, and we look at how it practically impacts us in our lives. And then we take that with us back out into the world. So we come together to go, okay, here's some light for the week, and we carry it forth. On Thursdays, we come together for what we call community connection, where we celebrate, we do celebrations and navigations. We share what's been going on in our lives. We share where we need support. We share what we've been learning. We share how we've been growing. We share where we've been struggling. And it can be anything. It literally can be anything. It can be, hey, I'd love to hear from y'all about what you're doing for balancing your hormones, or what do you do for getting sleep? Or, hey, I'm trying to come off a coffee and it's like rocking my world. What suggestions do you have? Or, wow, I just lost this beloved human being in my life. Or I just got this huge diagnosis, right? Or today, you know what? I am so close to the earth and I'm trying to eat healthy and feed my family well, and my husband won't stop using Roundup. God help me. Like, it doesn't matter what it is, how practical and how small it is, or how huge it is. We are looking at how we make a difference in our lives and in the lives of our close-knit community. We also have luminary guest teachers. We had a beautiful soul come to us yesterday named Margie Hoffman, who wrote all the environmental policy for the state of Oregon. She worked for both Kitzhaber administrations when he was governor. She also, grew up on a ranch in Colorado, and she worked for the Biden administration. And so she came and spoke to us, and she's the mother of a little girl, and that little girl happens to have cerebral palsy. And so, real life stuff. We have luminary guest teachers who come to us and teach us. Our previous luminary was a woman, a dear soul sister of mine, who came and taught us about the use of smoke. She's an Aztec danzante. She's been dancing in the Aztec community in prayer for more than 20 years. And she's a sumadora. She's a smoker. She carries the smoke, like we might say, like saging. A lot of us just like take the sage out and sort of, whip it around our house, and we don't really know what we're doing. And so she helped us understand why we do that and how we do that and what is our smoke. We have one of our beautiful community members who's starting next Thursday to offer making cards as an artistic expression, so that we can't even explain how beautiful these cards are. They're like when you buy a card deck, but we're making our own, and they are beautiful. We're using art as a way to heal, as a way to be active and to make a difference in our lives and in our homes and the lives of our families and in the community at large. We look at how we're growing, right? We're looking at spiritual practices. We do a book study. We're going to be doing a book called A Wish Can Change Your Life. It's based on the Kabbalah. These are real life applications. We look at what the needs are of the community, how people want to walk through the world, where they're wanting support, and we meet those needs. We have a WhatsApp community. We're connecting in this way. We meet prayer requests. We support each other, right? There's a lot of laughter, and we witness each other and just hold each other, right? Sometimes we just want to come and say, you know what, I just need to be heard. I don't want any advice. I don't want any feedback. I just need to be seen. And sometimes we're like, hey, I need something, like, I don't know what I'm doing with this. What do you guys think? And then it comes up. So it's a beautiful way for us to connect. Alone, we can do, right? We can walk alone, and we can do so much as we walk alone, or together we can do so much more. There's a phrase in the yogic tradition, it's actually in Sanskrit. So this isn't really my phrase, this is the translation. In Sanskrit, it's yad bhavam tat bhavati. And in English, it's as you worship, so you become. So if fear is close to your heart, that's what you're going to become. And that's what's going to be driving your decisions. If light and being a keeper of the light is what you become, then that's what's going to drive your decisions. Where your attention goes, your life flows. Paying attention is devotion. The only difference between a spiritual path and a material path is where you place your attention. When we sit in community, we are exercising a form of spiritual activism. So today I want you to take with you, regardless of what you do with me or with us ever again, take with you one rhythm that you want to build. Take with you a clear knowing of one place where you need support in your life. And then make that your reality, right? I feel alone in this way. Who can I reach out to? I'm here to say you can reach out to us. You can be in community with us. Or you might identify someone in your life, even a neighbor who you can walk with, right? You might go to a yoga class. Who knows? A Pilates class. What is one truth that you're ready to live closer to? And what is one way that you're going to show up in the next 7 days where you are living closer to the light and you are bringing more light into the world? I love the words of Dalai Lama. He said almost 2 decades ago that the world will be saved by the Western woman. And I believe it. I see it, I sense it, and I believe it. Women are rising. We are consciously aging. We are leading with open hearts, clear minds, stronger voices, and more present state of beings. And we are shaping the future, both quietly and very deliberately. The high truth from where I sit it is that doing this alone, whatever you choose to do, will only take you so far. Community, in my experience, anchors change. Identify where your community is and sit really close to it. Again, you might have come here today and you know that this just validates what you're doing, and you feel full and complete in what you're doing. This might also be a place where you say, ooh, I could really use some more work in this. I'm falling short. I'm getting thrown off the wagon and into the weeds of anxiety, of worry, of reaching for fast food, of not moving my body, of watching too much news or too much media. and I'm feeling despondent, and I'm feeling helpless or powerless. Your community will help walk you into greater states of being. So if this resonates with you and you want to do it with us, I say welcome, and I'll explain a little bit how you can do that. If not with us, please do it somewhere. But I'm going to say don't do it alone. And above all else, don't not do it, because we need you healthy. We need you balanced. We need you clear. We need you well. And we need you ready in this world that is changing so fast, right? The amount of plastics that are in breast milk, right? The amount of misinformation that is everywhere, the amount of isolation that is just naturally helping by the design of our world, the separation of caste, the separation of class, all of it. There's so much more perception of isolation and separation. And we need to bring our hearts, our minds, our voices, and our hands back together in connection. The light is still here. We might not always see it, but the light is still here. And so are you, and so am I. So we need to remember that and take that in to our hearts. However you do it, may we be light keepers together. I want to say that there's some of you who are here, who are in the community. And if anybody's feeling spunky, if anybody's feeling like you want to share what you get out of the community, you can just unmute yourself. I don't want to apply pressure, but I know others would love to hear it. Just unmute yourself and feel free to hop in. How is this serving you? How is this community serving you? What is it that you get out of it? What have I missed? Anybody?
I'm happy to speak to that. My name is Sarah, for those of you who I don't know, and I've been a part of Light Keepers for a good bit here.
Some years.
Yes, and so for me, what I find that it does is it's a safe haven. It's a safe haven to bring all the stuff, the joys, the highs, the lows, and everything in between, and that we bounce off each other. And like Britt had mentioned, we can do so in a passive way, just observing and listening to others and drinking it in, or we can also participate and deeply ask for input when we're feeling untethered. And it's a great place to feel like you can always tether into that group. And my personal experience is I lost my mom just a little over a month ago, and was actually on the call when I got the call about my mom. And this group has helped me so beautifully. And I've been ultimately grateful for having them in my life. So please join us.
Sarah. Thank you. Thank you. Love you so. Anybody else? Anybody else want to speak to what it's like to be part of the community? Feel free. No pressure. Okay. If anybody else has anything you want to say, I welcome you to just interrupt me at any time as I sort of go through this spiel. Here's the bottom line. There's two different ways that you can be part of Light Keepers. There's two different levels of membership. Most of our community is in the inner circle, and perhaps they're in the inner circle because we have more access to each other. We have a WhatsApp group. Folks reach out to me individually, and we hold each other in great space. But there's two ways. Bottom line is we come together no matter what. Every Monday morning for our first light, we come together in community connection. We have quarterly or more guest speakers. We have 2 times a year or more deep dive series where we go into a book study, or we go into last year we did mother and father wound, which anyone who joins at the inner circle level also gets all of those pieces as well from years past. So there's so much that you can do. If you're looking to be a part of a community, we've got you. If you join in you get my favorites recipe cookbook. So I love food. It's one of the things that for 20 some years of doing retreats, people leave retreats, and above all else, they say the food is incredible. When I do reviews of retreats, people say, wow, like the food. And I'm like, hey, wait, I was there. I taught some things. And people are like, oh, but the food was so good. So it's a thing that's important to me to be able to share really good, healthy food. And so I have a favorite recipes cookbook where you will find really good whole food recipes designed to support balanced blood sugar, healthy fats, healthy proteins, enough protein, and also to regulate your nervous system. So yummy stuff there. And then for anyone who joins today in our Lightkeeper Society, I will meet one-on-one with you, and we'll do a coaching session. I'll learn a little bit about you. You'll learn a little bit about me. We'll talk about, I'll answer any of your questions. I'll talk about the community and what you're jumping into and where you're jumping in. And then the next time that you're in a call with us, I'll introduce you to the community so that you can get to know the community and the community can get to know you. So we can just bring you in really beautifully and really smoothly into our community. By the way, the community is not super huge. Right now, we're about at 28 women. I have a cap goal of 50. There's never going to be more than 50. Everything is recorded. So, absolutely everything is recorded. So you can listen to it on your own. And on average, I think there were maybe 12 people in our call this morning. And I think in the Monday mornings when we do First Light, there's a few more. So there's maybe 17 to 20. So that's how we roll. And there's always a place for you to share your voice. There's always a place for you to offer up a desire for support or a petition like, hey, I'm going in for this lab work today. I'd love to just keep, hold me in your hearts, those sorts of things. And then I want to say that there's two ways. If you join the inner circle, that's at the $108 level. There, if you prepay for the whole year, you get an additional coaching call with me, which I think, Sarah, you still have one for me we have to get, right? And if Kate's here, I don't know if Kate's here. We also have one for Kate. Those are the two that are remaining of the people who prepaid. If you pay for the whole year, you get an additional coaching call with me, which is a $250 value. And then if you join me today, you also get 50% off of your first month. And you just have to use the code LKS, which is Lightkeepers Circle, right? Lightkeepers Circle for your code. So you can screenshot this. And so you can find it at Lightkeepers, brittbsteele.com. Here's a couple of people who have shared how the community also has impacted them. This has been my daily anchor during a year when I almost lost myself. Knowing there was at least 15 minutes to bring me back to myself kept me grounded and mostly sane during a crazy making time. And then I have to slip this over. I love the community, the connections, and the depth and breadth of the women who share so openly and vulnerably are definitely my favorite parts of this community. So these are some of the pieces. So here we are. This is Lightkeeper Society. You are welcome to join us. I would love to have you join us. And I hope that our being here together has helped inspire you, helped bring you back to what's most important to you, helped remind you that you have agency, that you can make an impact, and that you want to regulate your nervous system. You want to, and you can live in joy. You can dance wildly and laugh until you cry during these challenging times. And that is of high service to yourself. It is of high service to the people who you touch, and it is of high service to the world. So that's what I got today. Are there any questions or any thoughts or anything that anyone else would like to share today? Please feel free to unmute yourselves. I'd love to hear from you if there's something that you've got rolling today, anything at all. All right, feel free. And if not, let me just see what we got in the comments because I was busy teaching. Oh, Sarah, thank you. You shared the meditation in the link. So if you guys want to go to Spotify, you can find it there. Karen Knight, making journal, Zazen, 12-minute art, making journal-like practices, reflection on nature, wisdom, art monastery, 30-day challenge. There's a book out called The Art Cure. Thank you. Thank you. Sarah's got a couple of other things. All the resources. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Let's see here. Wonderful. Yes, Sandy, joining one of your community groups soon. And so it is. So this is it. Listening while I walk in nature. Good job, Karen. We're doing it. All right. So I love you all. And thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of today's call. I really appreciate it. And with that, I'll say goodbye. Thank you for being here. Love you all. And if you have any questions, you can email me, britt@brittbsteele.com, or just feel free to hop online at brittbsteele.com and all the details are there. Love you so. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye. Mhm.